Hello and welcome to On the Bench Extra, your weekly fix of football discussion locally, nationally and internationally here on S3 TV. This chap next to me, Tom Reid, is the lucky man this week. And this week's head-to-head challenge is slightly different. It's not head-to-head against each other, but a training session with the Hull City ladies football team. You can also find us on social media, wherever you may be. The full details are on your screen now. With the summer transfer window closing on Monday, managers have been busy searching for players to add to their squads as they look to improve on last season. So Tom, who do you think has done the best business this transfer window?
In terms of the recruitment, the actual players, take away the money and the business side, you look at which teams have actually improved in the areas they needed to. I have to say Chelsea.
You think Chelsea?
They needed a striker, they got Costa. They needed a midfielder, they got Fabregas. They needed a left back, they got Luis, they got a left back. So they've strengthened in those three areas. So genius from Mourinho, mate, I think. Okay,
yeah, just looking, I've got some stats here at who Chelsea have signed. So we've got Fabregas, they've got Costa, they've re-signed Drogba, they've got Felipe at left back. Also got Courtois, is essentially really a new signing coming back into the team, isn't he, really?
Again, one of the best, probably the best young goalkeeper at the minute. And it's Chelsea's number one now. He's pushed check out. Takes a lot to do that. So I think Chelsea, the spine of the team now, you know, you've got Costa up top, Fabregas, the creative midfielder, Luis, another defender. Obviously, they've got the centre-backs. And Courtois in goal, mate. I think that's great business. And, yeah, spot on for Chelsea.
Do you think Costa will keep doing it? Because I was a bit sort of unsure on whether he'd adapt to Premier League life. He's done brilliant the first opening couple of weeks.
As you say, mate, he's got 3 goals in his first 2 games, I believe. So, I mean, he's scoring, let's put it that way, and he's only going to get better, I think. He'll get used to the system. I think it's slightly different to Atletico, but he'll adapt, I think.
And Drogba, do you think he's going to play a pivotal figure, or do you think he's just going to be more for the influence?
I think he'll play a bit part this season, and I think he's going to be more of a coaching role for the strikers there and some of the younger lads, and his advice is going to be priceless, really. And
what about Manchester City? So the way they've strengthened, they've got Lampard, Fernando, Mangala, Caballero and Sanya. What do you think to Man City's squad? Did they really need to strengthen at all, did you think? Again, you know, they say the best managers are the active managers, and if you want to win the league, and you have to improve. You can't stand still in this league. So they've had to invest, I think, maybe in different areas than what they did. But again, they've improved the squad, I think. The experience of Sanya, Fernando in midfield, again, you know, Jovetic, he's not a new signing, but he's almost like a new signing. You know, he looks revitalised and he's like a new striker for him. He looks great. Yeah, he does look like a new signing, you're right. Can you see any surprise transfers going through? You know, like a couple of seasons ago, I think Liam Hearn was linked with Chelsea once. Can you see anything like that happening again?
No, we've only obviously got a number of days left now, and I can't see anything too major happening. Again, Di Maria was a shock, I think, to most United fans. It was hearsay for a lot of the summer. But I don't think anything too drastic is going to happen now, no.
Can you not see any big money signings going through?
What, world class stars?
Yeah, can you see any big name players coming in?
No.
None at all?
No, in a word, no.
Can you not see anyone like, I can't think, anyone from Serie A or La Liga?
Well, Giroud's injured for Arsenal. There's rumours that he needs to be replaced, so...
Could bring someone in,
yeah.
You never know. OK, brilliant. Thank you very much for that, Tom. So this week's challenge involved the two of us taking part in a training session with Hull City ladies. But before we see that, let's learn about the club itself as they kick off their new season this weekend.
My name's Rachel and I'm the manager of Hull Tigers Ladies Football Club. That involves all sorts, really. Coaching the girls down here, making sure they're all prepared for the games, for the season ahead, and also just the big job of picking the winning team. Well, we've had a really intense pre-season. We only give the girls 4 weeks off. We was back at it the first week in July. We brought in a specialised strength and conditioner who's been working with us for the last 6 weeks, and we've really benefited from having him down here as well.
Yeah, I'm Dave Batter, the chairman of Hull City Ladies. I took over as chairman during the summer when we decided to put a committee in place to run the club, whereas previously we had a manager and a coach, and we felt there was just far too much work on their shoulders. We see the likes of Yeovil and Millwall Barnet essentially in the Super League 2, Doncaster Bells, and we think Hull, it's a huge place. A lot of girls playing football in this area, and we really think with the right backing and the right support we can take this club into the Super League and stay there.
Expectation is to go all the way. We've got to finish top. We can't finish second again. We did it last year. We was 1 goal away from promotion, very close. This year we can't have the slip-ups. A lot of the games that we maybe dropped points at, we should have won because we went into the game without that high intensity and a lot of psychological factor behind it. So we need to ensure that the girls are approaching the games in the same manner, whether we're playing top of the league or we're playing bottom of the league.
And you can see us in training in part 2. You won't want to miss that because Reedy made an absolute mare of himself. So, going on to sack or stick now, we're talking Fulham, who were relegated from the Premier League last season. Reedy, Felix Magath in charge, who's quite a well-renowned manager.
Yeah.
He's got a good reputation. What do you think to Fulham this season? They've had a terrible start. Do you think, sack or stick?
Well,
Magath?
I mean, it's early days, isn't it, for Fulham? As it is for everyone. But it's not the best start. I'm sure the chairman's, squeaky bum time for him already. Swindon in '95 and Wolves, only a couple of seasons back, actually got relegated the season after. Yeah. So it can happen. You can get relegated twice in a row. I don't think it'll happen for Fulham, to be honest. It's a case of sort of, right, we're in the Championship, steady the ship, bring in the players we need for this league, make a plan for it, and then we'll build. Maybe a couple of seasons, they'll be back up. He's a good manager.
Yeah, he is. He's got a reputation for being a good manager as well. Do you think it's the fact that he's never managed in that sort of standard of league before, especially in England? Obviously, he's new to England anyway. Do you think that's had an effect?
Possibly. These top managers are used to top, free-flowing, quality football. You get relegated to a division lower. It's still a great quality, but it's not as good because you're obviously in the division lower. So maybe he's thinking, this is a bit more scrappier. We're gonna have to find a different way to win this. These teams they're harder to beat in a way because they put more maybe behind the ball. They're more physical. And maybe Magath's got to get used to that and tell his players that. Because these players, don't forget, they might not be used to the Championship. Yeah. And I think he's got some Premier League lads there still. So they might find it hard to adjust. Yeah,
they've got some young players as well. Just looking at the statistics list again, Reedy, 27% of relegated teams have secured promotion at the first attempt, coming down from the Premiership to the Championship.
So that's just over 1 in 4, I think, just.
Yeah, so how's your maths?
Not bad. Fulham, it is a tall order, really. If you think about 1 in 4,
yeah,
that's not a lot. Yeah. Because 3 go down. Yeah. So some seasons, none of them go back up.
Yeah.
So it'd be tough for Fulham. Look at the teams that are top of the Championship at the minute. They're already on course to get promoted, really. So it'll be tough for Fulham, it will.
Do you think if they maybe resurrect the Michael Jackson statue outside of Craven Cottage, they might have a bit more fortune?
It might galvanise some of the fans, and then the fans might give the energy to the players on the pitch, yeah. The 13th man, Jacko outside, you don't know, do you?
Could help a bit. But we said it before, they have got quite a young team.
Yeah.
We don't know how they're going to do. We'll just have to see how the rest of the season pans out, perhaps.
I agree, yeah. I think that's the case. It's going to be tough for any team to get out of that league. Fulham have probably got an advantage, but it'll be tough.
This weekend it's the FA Cup preliminary round with a number of local sides involved. So we've got Gresley versus Cleethorpes United, Lincoln United versus Brigtown, and we've got Runcorn against Gull FC. So we've got a Lincolnshire derby in there, yeah. Tom, first of all. We'll go have a talk about that one. Lincoln United against Brigtown, what do you think to that tie?
As every derby, it's going to be tough, it's going to be physical. You probably have more passion than other kinds of games. Tempers are going to probably rise a bit, and you'll get that added bit of spice, I think, in a local derby like that.
And what do you think to the local area from having obviously FA Cup preliminary ties and the chance to go further in the competition?
I think it's great. Obviously for a county like Lincolnshire as well, it's not the most famous for football, I suppose. And as we said in last week's show, Colin Murray highlighted Cleetown. He's going to follow them now, and obviously he's a big radio personality, TV personality. So again, if these local sides can just get past these first rounds, get a bit higher, again, there could be another Cleetown, if you like, and they could get picked up.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Tom. That's the end of part 1, but before we go, here's a half-time teaser for you. The question is, Grimsby scored 13 goals over back-to-back games last weekend. When was the last time that they did this? We'll see you in part 2. Welcome back to the show. Before the break, I asked you, when did Grimsby Town last score 13 goals in back-to-back games? The answer was January 2011, when they beat Mansfield 7-2 and followed it up by beating Histon 6-1. So, last week, England manager Roy Hodgson said he felt it wouldn't hurt if young players went abroad for first-team football, as he feels it would benefit the national team. Tom, ball's in your park, what do you think?
Well, I bet you the fiver in my wallet, mate, if he was still a club manager, he'd say differently.
Do you think?
Yep, he wouldn't. I think he would, because, you know, he says he's going abroad would benefit players, but if he's still in charge of Fulham and he's got 8 English players in his team, he wouldn't want half of them going abroad if they're his top players. He'd be like, nah, you're staying in the Premiership, lad. You know what I mean? So, again, because he's the England manager, you'll see it slightly differently to Premiership managers. But it might benefit some, whereas some young lads, you might think, actually, no, stay in the Premier League. It's the best place for your development right now. Whereas the more experienced players, you know, go abroad and, you know, see if you can do a job there. You've experienced this league, go abroad.
But why don't we see players doing that? Why don't we see English players going abroad as much? What do you think the reason for it is?
Well, I think, I mean, I mentioned it on a few shows back. I think it's one of the best leagues in the world, and for the English lads, it's on their doorstep. They live in England. They've watched English football as a kid, I assume. So they've got the opportunity to play in the Premier League, the league they've loved. So they're going to play in it if they have the opportunity. You know, why, as an English lad, you're an Everton fan, for example, you get a chance to play in the league Everton are playing in. It's like, nah, I'm off to some second division Dutch side, I think. You know, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, Eric Dier, obviously, he's at Tottenham now. He was playing at Sporting Lisbon. I know it's through default, through his family moving abroad and things, but you can see the way he's playing in the first couple of games. He's got that sort of continental style of football about him. So I don't know why more don't do it.
I know. I think Di Maria's also commented as well. He said Man United was the only team he'd leave Madrid for, and that you know, that's great news really to hear from obviously a foreign player, not English, but it's compliment to the league. I think it is a good technical league.
Yeah, and I think just looking, Josh McEachran has gone on loan from Chelsea to Vitesse Arnhem. I mean, it seems to be either the absolute superstars like Beckham or the players that are struggling to get football in England. So they've got to get that balance, I think.
Again, yeah, it is. It's obviously players who have been there and done that. You've been in the Premier League, you can go abroad. Or lads who haven't quite got the chance in the Premier League that fancy it. It's like, well, I'm not getting my chance in Fulham or Chelsea. I'm gonna go abroad and see what I could do there.
Yeah, and Fraser Forster was the only player in the World Cup squad this year that was playing outside of the Premiership, and that's in Scotland. So what does that tell you?
Well, exactly. They're all UK-based players, and if you like, not one foreign team player in our team.
Yeah, we need to sort it out maybe. So we know a little bit about Hull City ladies. Let's hear some more and witness the shocking moment we trained with the first team.
Right, we've come to Hull to meet the Hull City ladies football team and to find out their aspirations for the upcoming season.
They've been putting us through our paces, so let's see how we got on.
So, we've met the players. That were hard work, that.
Now let's meet the chairman and the manager.
Pre-season's gone really, really well. So we're looking this Sunday to our first league fixture against Whitley Bay. One of our big contenders, I think, for promotion this season. We're really looking forward to it. The squad's really energised, they're really up for it. There's a lot of people talking about us in the city as well. We've got to go on the pitch now, and that's where Rachel and Danny's job comes in.
We're a very ambitious club, and hopefully this year, if all goes to plan, we will finish top, we'll go up, and we do have a 6-year plan in place to take us through to the Super League.
We're looking for sponsors. This is something else I'm trying to do, bring people on board who will inject a bit of money. Mr. Alam, the owner of Hull City, is our big sponsor, and we're eternally grateful for all his support that he's put into the club.
You've got to go in with that same mentality, and we've got to be consistent this year. We can't be dropping points.
Yeah, I think we can go pretty far. We've got a lot of new players this season, and we've been training for a couple of months now, twice to 3 times a week. Obviously increasing our fitness, which I think was a problem last year, with obviously nearly scraping promotion.
And this is the reason I talk about football and don't play it.
Now we're back to the nice warm studio. Tune in next week for another challenge. Now let's take a look at some of the big stories on the back pages. First of all, we've got the Grimsby Telegraph here, The story on the back, Reedy, boss urges men to keep firing. So, Grimsby can't stop scoring. What's going on?
Well, you know, at first they were firing blanks, it seems, and now we're full of it. I don't know. Obviously, they've found the form. They've got a few key lads back. Obviously, Nielsen being one of them, he's obviously made a difference. Lewis has found his feet, John Lewis. So, yeah, keep the lads fit. You know, keep the momentum and the confidence, and who knows where we could be.
What do you think to the news of Alan Connell leaving there? That only leaves Grimsby with 3 real first-team strikers, out-and-out strikers anyway.
Yeah, again, if there's goals coming from midfield, you know, Scott Brown, Disley, Nielsen, you know, it's not a massive problem, but again, I'll use the cliche, it's a tough league to get out of. Every game's going to be tough, so you could probably do with that 4th striker, especially, as you said before the show, the FA Trophy as well. So there's a distraction, if you like, for some teams. So, yeah, if you can rotate between 4, great.
Yeah, try and get another body on board.
Yeah.
Looking at the Scunthorpe Telegraph as well, Scunthorpe's lost to Reading, lost 1-0, 85th minute. You've got to be gutted with that, surely.
Heartbreaking for the fans, obviously, and obviously the manager, I'm sure Nigel Adkins was buzzing with that result on his return. He got a warm reception from the fans, which is always nice to see. But again, Scunthorpe's season, it's a bit sluggish, that they can't really get started, get going yet. Again, I can't see him having a 20-odd game unbeaten run. That's not in this league. It'll be tough. Not
this season, no. It's going to be difficult. And they seem to be doing better against the bigger teams. They beat Blackburn. They've put in a good performance against Reading, but you know they're getting beaten in the league, which you know they're struggling a little bit, aren't they?
Again, it's a tough league. Maybe they step up the game against these bigger opposition, and maybe it's taking its toll in the league.
Yeah. Okay, so just looking at the Sun, we've got the awfully funny headline of disaster for Manchester United. So, what happened in that game against MK Dons?
Well, you can't make excuses, but it was an inexperienced team. Maybe a team that lacked quality as well. I mean, you had some key lads in there, you know, Kagawa, Anderson, Hernandez up top. De Gea was in goal, so you can't moan at that. But, you know, the team around them was young lads, reserve lads maybe, or, you know, they've never played at Old Trafford before, so...
4-0 whooping against the League One side. I thought you were at the back, Reedy.
Well, yeah, look, MK Dons, you know, they're far from a United side when on the day, but again, these things can happen if you know, take it seriously, as you will get beaten 4-0.
Di Maria coming in, he might have made a difference. We'll never know. 4-0 loss
Hindsight's
to MK
great,
Dons. It is, exactly. Hull United AFC manager and chairman Jamie Waltham offered to pay fans £2 each for attending the club's game against Headingley Rangers. 400 plus fans turned up. Reedy, do you think this initiative will sort of pay off? Do you think, sorry for the pun, but do you think that paying the fans to attend the games is going to work?
Well, 400 plus fans at £2, I mean, I'm no Carol Vorderman, but I think that's £800 or more, so, you know, he's had to fork that out.
He must have some money. The
exactly.
guy must have some money.
I was just going to say that. You know, are the funds going to run out from the club, or, you know, is there someone funding this? We don't know. I mean, it's a great incentive, obviously it's worked, but how long can they really do that? You know, 2 or 3 seasons, you're going to be spending a lot of money.
And they're a new side as well. Obviously, is this just a bit of a gimmick, or, you know?
It might catch on in these lower league sides, but again, you need money to do that, and not everyone's got that, these lower league sides. It may be just to entice the fans, say, this is what we can offer. We want you to come back every week.
And if they're getting the fans in, that's absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
Well, it's what drives football, mate, isn't it?
Exactly. Thank you, Tom. Well, that's all we have time for this week. Don't forget to join us next week at the same time in the same place. And don't forget you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Please email us. It's onthebench@estuary.tv. The details are on your screen now. Thanks to Tom Reid for his infinite wisdom. And thanks to you for watching. For this week, goodbye.